Hi everyone. This is the very, very start of the live chat Q&A thing. Yeah. So, this is the 26th of April. Is not an anniversary. It's a day before an anniversary. This is the end of the second year of the channel, really. Started on the 27th of April, but I couldn't do this tomorrow. So, well, I could probably have done it in the morning. But yeah, this is a good time for me to do a live thing, and so it's a day early. But yeah, I thought it would be nice to, rather than mark an anniversary with it, mark the very last thing that'll be on the channel this year of the channel. Not the last video, of course. The next one will be the City of Kings is the next video, hopefully. I haven't edited it yet, so barring any huge mistakes that would need me to refilm it, the next one should be the City of Kings this weekend at some point. So the main thing, well, the pre-question that I've got is about, well, it's from Steve. It's about, will I be doing another fundraising campaign this year? Because I did a Kickstarter around the end of May last year, and it was really, it went very well. It went a lot better than I expected. I got past the funding goal and got to the stretch goal of going to Essen, and that was really cool. But yeah, it will be back this year around the same time, so it'll be in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to do another Kickstarter again, is the plan so far. I know that a lot of people are switching to Patreon or have just gone to Patreon, but I did really like how the campaign went. And yeah, it's all about trying to think of ideas and try and do it bigger and better this year, because I would like to, take this further. Obviously, I would like to do more and more of it, and I'd like to maybe, do it an extra day in the week rather than, all of the nights. But hey, hi everybody. Hi Christopher. Hi Gaming Rules. That's Paul Grogan. Hi Paul. So, whatever I was talking about, yes, there will be a Kickstarter. I'm not sure of the exact date yet, or of any details. I want to have some kind of... Well, I looked into things that looked like cool ideas that are like, I don't know if you've seen Heavy Cardboard have got the poker chip or challenge coin or something like that. Anything like that you want to get made, it's a really cool idea, but there's a barrier to entry where they have to make, if you want to do nice metal things, they have to make, like, I don't know, stamps, molds. They have to do something special anyway for you to be able to make more in the future. So if you want to make a lot, that's brilliant. But if you only want to make a few, because it would be like, I don't know, for some high-level backers, it would be a club or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it was too expensive to do, but that was the idea that I had. So it's all about coming up with more ideas for things. But anyway, has anybody got any questions? I'll keep talking about ideas. Like I wanted to have some kind of... I thought this for last year, but there wasn't enough time to get anything ready. If this is a very specific UK thing, probably, but when you joined the Beano Club in England, anyway, when you were a kid, as everybody did, I'm sure, you got a nice little wallet, and it had a membership card in it, and you got a Dennis the Menace badge and a Nasher badge that was all furry. Maybe we could do something like that. Although, yeah, it wouldn't be furry because, again, I imagine if you want to make a lot of them, that would be brilliant. But I do want to have... I've got ideas for I've got a good idea for a badge, but yeah, it's whether we can get that done in time. And it's whether Rach wants to draw it, because she's not very confident in drawing, but I think she should be. I think the Marty she drew last year is really good. I need to make that the logo of the channel or something. So we haven't got Paul. We've got the HR manager of Gaming Rules, Bramble the cat. So hopefully Bramble can ask, I don't know, we can do some cat-related questions. Marty should be around here somewhere, but when he's wanted, he's obviously not going to be here, is he? Hi Glenn, what are some games you're looking forward to in 2018? Well, I was reminded that my anticipated list for 2018, when I was doing the City of Kings video, I was trying to remember what position it was. It was the most anticipated game, so I've just done that, which is like, yeah, well, you'll see when the video comes up, but I really liked it. There are some things that, I don't know about issues, but there are some things not ideal for me, but in the main, I've really, really enjoyed it. I've spoiled the video now, haven't I? But yeah, that's the little bonus you get from watching this live. I'm scanning through my anticipated game list now, which needs updating, but based on things that I haven't played yet, like Chronicles of Crime was the next one, and I've played that now. Well, I've played the prototype version of it, and if you see my video from that, yeah, I absolutely love that. Can't wait for the rest of the stuff to come out for that. But I think is it something like January next year when that's gonna come out with all of the big stories. Things I haven't played yet. Aeon's End Legacy, really excited for when that comes out. There's Snowdonia, which is a game I've played a lot, but the NSKN are doing a new version of it with, a kind of a complete edition of it with some new stuff. Really can't wait to see what's in that, because I haven't got all of the stuff for Snowdonia. I've got quite a few little expansion packs for it, but I really love it, and I love how much it changes the game, how many different things it does every time you get something new. What else is coming? Oh, The Rise of Queensdale. I really want to play that. We talk about City of Kings off the record. Okay. The Rise of Queensdale. That's a legacy game coming from Ravensburger, which is from Inca and Marcus Brand, who do loads of brilliant games. They do Murano, they do the Exit series. I can't remember any of the games they do now. Village. They do loads and loads of stuff. Word Slam, I can't think of the most recent things. But they've been doing excellent games for years and years, and this is a legacy game from them. As far as I know, you can only get it in German so far, but yeah, as soon as I get word of an English version of that coming out, then I'll be straight on that, hopefully. Escape Plan, new Vital Lacerda game. If you've seen any of my videos about all of the games that he's put out, yeah, I'm complete fanboy of Vital Lacerda's, and this is lighter, apparently, isn't it, Paul? Although Lisboa was just draw a card and play a card. What else is on here? Edge of Darkness. I don't really know any more about Edge of Darkness. It's had its Kickstarter campaign and stuff that I assume was very successful. But yeah, I just know that it's a bigger version of Mystic Vale. We're kind of there's a communal deck that we're building out of those cards that we make ourselves with the clear acetate things. But yeah, you can use other people's cards, but you have to pay them for them. That's as much as I know still. I didn't learn any more through the Kickstarter campaign because I knew I couldn't back it. So that's my strategy for not feeling as left out. Try and avoid the news about them. Welcome to. I've got a copy of that on the way, which it's really nice to see that loads of people on Twitter are talking about it now. It's getting published by a company I can't remember the name of in America now. It's a roll and write game without dice where we're building these neighborhoods and there's tons of different scoring things. It's really, really good. Based on my one play at Essen last year, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, the designer has sent me is hopefully sending me a copy of the game. It's in transit somewhere, so I really can't wait to play that again. There's a game that's on Kickstarter soon that I haven't done the video for yet. That is coming on Kickstarter at the beginning of May at some point, called On Tour. That's, if you're into roll and write games, that's one to keep an eye open for. But there's going to be a video for that on the channel very soon. Well, on the 7th, if it's still launching on the 7th. Giving you behind the curtain things now. I shouldn't give dates unless I'm 100% sure, should I? Paul is working on the Escape Plan rulebook. Yeah, I know. If they're looking for any videos, hey, I'm here. What else is coming in 2018 that's really, really exciting? Oh, the pronunciation I don't want to get into. The sequel to Zolkin, Teotihuacan. I think that must be a little bit close, mustn't it? That's coming from NSKN. It's not a sequel, is it? I'm not sure what the right term is. It's from the designer of Zolkin, but it's not CGE, so I think it's not quite related to it, but in some ways it will be. Founders of Gloomhaven. I'm really excited to play the final version of it, and it's had a load of things added to it since I did the Kickstarter video for the prototype. It's had kind of achievements to give everyone a goal that they're working towards, and just the game itself I really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to playing that again. Thunderstone Quest. I'm seeing everyone's huge, Thunderstone Quest boxes that they've had from backing the Kickstarter, and I've only ever played base Thunderstone. I didn't play Thunderstone Advance, and I only really play Thunderstone normal cooperative. So I like that. It's a nice little combination of a deck builder and a dungeon crawl. And Thunderstone Quest looks pretty huge, pretty hefty. So I imagine there's a lot of content in the box. I remember there being something where they weren't doing solo and co-op anymore, or there was going to be some delay on that. But either way, I don't think it's come out in shops yet, so I don't have to worry about it as much. there's loads and loads and loads of things that are coming out, and I haven't updated my anticipated list for quite a while. Like there was a Kickstarter game that's on the way that looks really nice that I can't see anymore. And yeah, it's weird being told about being asked to do these videos for games. I should always check. Oh, do they want me to talk about this yet? So I won't say anything just yet. We've got Badgerman. Hi, Badgerman. How much time do you spend playing games for fun versus for your channel? It's almost always videos for the channel now. Yeah, the balance shifted quite. It's quite soon that playing games for fun doesn't happen. Well, we still have fun when we're playing them for the channel, but there tends to be a huge kind of backlog of games that I need to work on, or there's a Kickstarter that's, our Kickstarter launches in such and such a soon time, so can you have that ready for then? Or yeah, there'll be a game that I've just forgotten about, or something will win the vote that I do vote. That was a reward for the Kickstarter last year, that I do 2 votes every month for games that, and not always games that I need to do get reviewed, which, sometimes it's brilliant to go back. Like Glass Road won one of the votes for this month, so I'm looking forward to playing that again. Although we did play that for fun actually a couple of weeks ago. I'd say it's probably 95% at the moment, but if you saw me tweet when we were in Essen at my beautiful pile of games that I came back with, it was brilliant, at the time, and to play all of these diverse things, but at the same time, a lot of people gave me games to make videos for, so there's, as well as everything else that's going on in the Kickstarters that need to be done, and the new things that are cropping up, the new games that are coming out that I want to keep up on, there is still, hidden under the table is still quite a large pile of games that are from Essen, which is now 6 months ago. So I do feel bad about it, but I am making the videos as quickly as possible. So yeah, we do have to play the ones for that, like Pioneer Days. That's one that's hopefully coming up. I got sent that a couple of weeks ago, nearly a couple of weeks ago. We haven't gotten to that yet. We did play Fallout at the weekend. That's one of the recent. Well, it wasn't released recently. It was released before Christmas, but sold out pretty much straight away, so I couldn't get hold of a copy. But we played that, and it was pretty strange. I wouldn't really want to commit to things. I need to play it again because there were some things that stuck out as being very bizarre. But Paul, you said people have been saying that you need house rules, or there's an FAQ or something for it. I need to look into that because it was a bit of a weird one. So yeah, Pioneer Days is coming up. I've kind of seen it. A friend bought it at Essen, and it just missed our cut off for games that we were picking up. I remember Rado saying that it was a really good dice drafting game, but maybe some bits of it felt a bit mean. I vaguely remember that, but yeah, watching that video would have been about 6 months ago now, so I'm kind of vaguely remembering things that he said from back then. How are you perceiving the growth of board gaming in the UK? Are you seeing a large growth of gamers over there? I don't know. Indianapolis, home of Gen Con. Hello. I see it. I only really see it basically from the UK Games Expo. I don't really go to much of that. I missed out on going to Aircon. I was really disappointed that I couldn't go to that. But yeah, the last minute, I just couldn't make it. So, but next year, really hoping to make that one. But okay, back to the UK Games Expo. The first year I went was the last year it was in the Hilton Hotel in the NEC. It was very strange holding a convention in a hotel that was so busy, because it was really hard to walk around some of the convention rooms they were using as trade halls. It was a really tight squeeze, and we only went for a bit of one day, just there as it was before I started the channel. Just there kind of checking it out. Didn't get to play much, but yeah, absolutely crammed. And then I think, was this year the first one at the NEC? Or is it the second one at the NEC? I can't remember how many I've been to now. It's the second one at the NEC, isn't it? Either way, it's now in a huge area, and still it's packed. The more they keep expanding it, the more people come and fill it out again. Especially on Saturday, it was absolutely huge. But yeah, as Paul says, check out the attendance figures for the UK Games Expo. I think it's shooting off into space at the moment. So that's the only real, judge that I have of the UK's growth. But it's the biggest convention in the country. This year will be the third in the NEC. So I've been to 2 at the NEC. Yeah. So I'm trying to remember that. I think. Oh yeah, the very first one at the NEC was the one where I think I'd been doing this for about 2 weeks, and so obviously I wasn't asking people. I'm a big shot. I've made 3 videos. Please, can you let me do a video for your game? That's where we picked up Project Elite and the networks. And then last year was a big blur because it was very busy. We were there every day, and we drove to. We aren't too far from Birmingham. I think we're about an hour and a half, something like that. We drove there and back every day. But this year we're going to be staying there, so hopefully we'll be able to get involved in things that happen at night. I think I know that, no pun included, F. Corona Lane were doing something that involved being the crew on a spaceship. It was some strange live action game that they were doing. There's things like that happen after the convention closes, so we can find out what's going on there. Oh, I'm doing a live show. Quick plug. It's on Friday night, isn't it? At the Toot Suite. I remember that now. Friday night at the Toot Suite, 9 p.m. Is that right? I should research these things, shouldn't I? I didn't know I was going to plug it until just a second ago. But yeah, so surely this is going to be the best UK Games Expo ever, because it's going to have some other people on there, but me, live. It's going to be me, Gaming Rules, Paul Grogan, Heavy Cardboard, Edward. It is only Edward, isn't it? I don't think Amanda can make it. I think I remember. And Matt, Creaking Shelves, live. And there's a big charity raffle on Saturday night. Hey, 9 p.m. Friday night, I was right. Yeah, I'm going to have a celebratory sip of tea. On average, how long does it take you to do a playthrough from start to finish? Well, it depends on the game. But I can't remember what there are some huge ones, like something like Gaia Project, where it's a strain to play something like Gaia Project, where it's like really heavy. There's a million things going on. I remember just the plays of that. We had to there were points where I played it with a friend because Rachel didn't want to finish the game that we played together. But there were points through just playing it where we had to just stare at the table for 5 minutes or so, trying to think of where things were going and what we were doing. So if it's difficult to just playing it to think about it, when you're then filming it by yourself, doing 2 people's things at once. Although I did that solo, didn't I? So I've got a bit of an easier ride with that. But the things where there are loads of things going on, trying to remember all of the rules and things, they take hours and hours. I think Gaia Project took about 3 hours or something to film, and then editing is the most time consuming, because it takes at least twice as long to edit, and that's if it's quite smooth. Hi Rachel. Rachel's here. Hi Mom Gamer. Hi all of the people. But yeah, and I don't really like editing as well. I know that shifts a lot between board game media people. Some people aren't as keen on the filming and love the editing. The other way around. The filming is the thing that I can do the easiest, because it's just playing the game. I tend to make a lot of mistakes, so I try and spend a lot of time on rules, and I've usually got the rule book open. And I've tried to play the game enough that I'm comfortable with the rules, but no matter how hard I try, there's still plenty of mistakes end up in there. But Steve, we've never really had a big announcement of this, but for the last few months, Steve has been my Paolo. He takes the videos, and I'd say almost all of the subtitles, probably all of the subtitles for the last few months, have been Steve. He watches them before they go up and catches a ridiculous number of mistakes that I make. But they're kind of just done subtly. But that's what Steve did. Give Steve a round of applause, everybody. We'll never know if you really did the round of applause, but I trust that you all did. I try and spend enough time on the rules, but there are things like, it's always very strange, like Homesteaders, which is the last video that went up. I think I had about a week with that. It was a very last minute thing of, can you do a video for it? Paul sent me his copy up, and then the Kickstarter is on this day, so we can play it this time, and then I need to film it. And those times where it's very last minute and I'm pretty panicked and worried about the video, they tend to have the fewest mistakes in them. I don't think there was very many in the Homesteaders video. And then the ones where I've played it loads and I'm pretty confident and yeah, I know the rules to this game, they're the ones where it tends to be, this huge thing was done wrong and no further notes will be added to it. But yeah, it seems to just be, from watching Rado and stuff. Even John Gets Games does, he spends even longer filming the playthroughs, and is much better at catching goofs and things and refilming things. But sometimes even John puts little error corrections in there. I think it's kind of inevitable. But I do lean more towards I do edit the videos, but I'm closer to the Rado end of the spectrum, where just trying to film these things on the fly just ends up in a lot of mistakes. But that's okay, isn't it? But yeah, the editing is the huge, huge, huge thing. And if I end up doing something silly in it, like, I don't think it wasn't a huge thing, but at the end of the Kitchen Rush video that we did, there's a little song that I ended up, well, it's kind of a song. It's like a little music video made up of us saying the names of the dishes, and that little minute thing at the end of that video took about 2 hours to edit, and there was no reason for it, and it was just a little random thing that it was just one of the things that I found very funny, like the supermarket sweep video from last year. That was the big anniversary video last year. That took so long to edit, the intro for that, where I was trying to make it look like the start of Supermarket Sweep. And yeah, I'm sure most people either don't even know what Supermarket Sweep is anyway, or think, why is the video for that on this channel at all? But I really like that. But in general, just even though a lot of the editing is just cutting out silences or mistakes or things like that, it takes a really, really long time. And unfortunately, I can't listen to music or anything. I lose concentration when I've tried to listen to music and stuff while editing, so I'm just kind of listening to myself sometimes over and over and over again. So that's the part that takes the most time, and I don't really enjoy it that much, but it's necessary, it only came about because I couldn't, the first videos I did were for smaller games, and they were all just done live. They were like half-hour videos or whatever for Castles of Burgundy, the card game. But as soon as it started getting into these big full videos, I realised that I couldn't keep up the pace that Rado does. That's how Rado doesn't need to edit things, because he can just keep talking and keep playing. There are times where I just run out of something to say, or have to stop and think about the moves, even though it's just it's not really a game, me playing against myself, but I have to stop and think and try and reassess what's going on, and the editing's just vital to it, because it would just be silence. It wouldn't even be, I know some people don't. I really like the bits where Rado's kind of taking things back and agonising over these things. I don't edit to cut those bits out on purpose. It's mainly to avoid all of the silence. Do you have a Patreon account? I don't. I did a Kickstarter about a year ago, almost a year ago, and I'm planning on doing another one towards the end of May. So it'll be in about 3 or 4 weeks, and hopefully there'll be exciting things on it. Although kind of limited, because I didn't really. I would like to hear, anybody that, whether you were a backer or not of last year, like what you would like to see in another kind of campaign, what rewards you would like. I know that, Paul, I keep meaning to ask you, I'm not in your Slack channel. I keep forgetting to say anything about it. But I also would like to know what a Slack channel is. I know that people offer, Discord channels and things. Slack is some kind of chat thing, I think. Maybe we can do something like that. We could do some group where we can all have a talk. There is a guild on Board Game Geek that, I'll always see the things that are posted there, or comments to videos and stuff. But yeah, other than adding more votes, what can I do? I had some offers last year of adding promos and things to the Kickstarter, but I'd kind of left it off the first one But I've had, some people have come back to me again this year and said, would you like? We've got these things. Would you like to offer them with your Kickstarter? And I'd kind of, even though, yeah, I tried to make a big deal about how independent everything is, and all of the funding for this channel comes from that Kickstarter. It comes from the people that watch it. I'd never get paid to make any of the videos. I get sent games, especially if they're Kickstarters. Every Kickstarter has been sent to me, bar maybe a couple that I made print and play myself, and I get sent review copies now of things, not of everything, but yeah, I never get paid to make a video, is what the point I was trying to make. So all of that comes from the Kickstarter, and so I was trying to keep a distance that everything is independent. But these things haven't been paid for with these promos and things. I think maybe it would be cool to include them. What do you think? Because I wonder. I know that most other Kickstarters do offer promos for things, offer promos for quite big games, and it's kind of a major selling point. And I did like that. No offense to any of those Kickstarters, but I did like that mine went off without any of those. So I don't know if it would be a negative to have them. Hopefully it would just be a positive. It would just be a nice thing. And I don't want to say anything until it's finalized, but it was games that I had already played on the channel that I really enjoyed, and it would be cool to offer promo things for. But then at the same time, if you're offering a promo for that game, does it look like you only gave it a good review because you had a promo? I don't know. That's the kind of thing that goes on in my head. Just join the gaming rules one. What is it? You just talk about the weather a lot. Is that what Slack is? I don't know how to join it though, Paul. You need to help me. Everybody just talk amongst yourselves, and me and Paul will sort out this Slack thing. So what was I talking about? I was talking about the Kickstarter things. Yeah, I want to try and have some cool rewards for it. Like there was last year, you could just put any money in and not have any rewards if you didn't want them, or you could get votes. There were different stages where you got more votes, and then there was get your credit at the end of the video. Hi Dan. Dan's I assume it's the Dan that is a producer. And you could be an executive producer where you got an extra special credit at the end of a video, and you got to name a game. Which also, if any executive producers watch this, your vote doesn't run out or anything. But if you have a game that you want me to cover, then yeah, you just have to use your vote up. Because I think Steve used his on Bob Ross. That was a very good vote, Steve. And someone else used their vote. I replied today. One of the next games that will be coming up in a week or so. I don't know if it's on camera because I can't see my face at the moment, but Dead Men Tell No Tales. It's a co-op from maybe 2 years ago or something like that. That's designed by Kane Klenko, who did Fuse and what's the sequel to Fuse called? Flatline, and other things that I haven't played yet. Flip Ships is a big one. He's done loads of games, and mainly the time co-ops I'm a huge fan of. Tony Brum. Tony used his vote on, what is it called? Dead Men Tell No Tales, so that'll be one coming soon. And I'm looking forward to playing that because, like Glass Road, the way that was it was in the votes for last month's Kickstarter, but it didn't quite make the top, and it won one of the votes this month, which I'm really pleased about because it kind of put it back into my head to, how long has it been since we played that? And Dead Man Tell No Tales, I don't think we've played that for... We played it a few times when it came out, and maybe not even since then that we've got it out. So yeah, it's a pirate-themed co-op where we're kind of on a shipwreck. The ship is on fire, and we need to get as much treasure out before the whole thing falls apart. Oh, there's questions and things. I'm scrolling back a bit. We talk about the weather a lot. I saw that. Hi, David. Promos aren't a bad thing. Yeah, more votes is a good benefit. Yeah, I would like, because the aim, hopefully the aim of the Kickstarter would be to do more videos or have more time to do the videos. And so if I can make more videos, then I'm more comfortable with having more votes for it, because I am behind on my votes at the moment. Like City of Kings would have been done anyway because it's a big game. It's a game I enjoyed. spoilers. And Frank sent me a copy of the game. I'm pointing down here because City of Kings is elevating the laptop so that it's a good level. It's a hefty box. It can do that. So yeah, I'm behind on the votes, even though that's coming this weekend. So if we kept the videos at this rate and I added more votes, that's why I only did 2 in the first place, because I would be even more behind and I wouldn't be able to keep up with Kickstarters that are coming in or new games that are coming out. It's hard to. I'm trying to find a balance between all of these things. What's going on? So promos, yeah, maybe they will be on there, but yeah, it's not going to be a vital thing. But because then postage and stuff comes into it, where postage, especially from the UK, postage gets to be a nightmare, especially if you're sending outside the country. It gets very, very expensive. So then you're adding that on, but it's just paying to send things out. Although I definitely want to have a badge again. I really liked the badge from last year, and we had a funny idea of what it could be this year, and I hope that it can be done. I blame you for backing Crisis. I have just that's something that's coming up at some point. I can grab a game and show a game, even though there's games on the shelf behind me. It's coming at some point. It arrived lightning fast from Finland. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it by the time the Kickstarter ends. I think it ends on Sunday, I think. And we haven't even had a chance to play it yet, because it arrived yesterday, I think. But that will be coming soon. Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden, also from Luda Creations. I don't know much about the game, but I think it's a beautifully insane concept for the theme anyway. So looking forward to playing that. So Crisis, yeah, it's about an economic crisis, isn't it? That's another one where I'm vaguely remembering the Rado playthrough for it. Have you gotten to play 4 Against Darkness yet? 4 Against Darkness? What's that? I don't even know what that is. It is... Board Game Geek's loading up. You're using all of my bandwidth. It is a solitaire dungeon delving game, and you need a book, a pencil, 2 6-sided dice, and grid paper. Sounds intriguing. I had no idea it existed though until now. It's a dice rolling paper and pencil game. I imagine it's not a roll and write game. It's similar to a choose your own adventure, maybe one of those choose your own adventures that I had as a kid where you also had some dice rolling and stats in the back and stuff. Yeah, I'll leave that tab up and look into it more later. It's number 2 on the hotness. Is something happening with it? It is number 2 on the hotness. Yeah, I'll have to look into that and where you get it from. Yeah, I hadn't seen it at all before, but yeah, I don't play as many solo games as I used to now. I need to do a solo playthrough. I think it's been quite a while for it. Brian, hi Brian. Curious why you break up the playthrough and a review of each game. Why are they not in the same video? Well, it's basically because that's more the accepted form of it's. Yeah, I can answer a question that's lower down as well. Who is your favourite board game reviewer? The person that I watched the most, and kind of got me into the groove of the games I really love was Rado. I watched a lot of different, board game channels, but just for that kind of the kind of crunchy, medium heavy Euros that he likes, I found that they were exactly the kind of games that I love. And we started out from games that we'd seen on tabletop and stuff, right in the very beginning, and we were playing the small worlds and things like that, and opening our eyes and getting excited that all these board games were out there. But one of the big things for Rado as well, but beyond just kind of liking his presentation, and you end up liking him as well. The way he I can't think of an adjective now, but yeah, I really, really liked Rado, and then he introduced me to, as well as all of these, themeless Euros that people might criticise him for, as well as all these beautiful Euro games without conflict in them as well. I found more and more that the more conflict and player interaction, as it's often termed, the more that's kind of removed from games, the better for me. And it gets to the point where now when it's in games, it feels even more pronounced because most of the games we play don't have it in at all. But that's kind of why they're not in the same video, because he does it a bit of a different way. He does a quick taste of a game in a video, and then you can watch the extended play he'll play it for a little bit more, and then you can see his final thoughts. But I know that some people, even though I would always say, watch the playthrough, I do full playthroughs for games 90% of the time, and they're just in one great big chunk. I know that some people watch just the first impressions, and I do that with Rado sometimes. If sometimes it would just be to I haven't got time to watch the playthrough yet, but maybe I'll just watch the first impressions and see if there's a load of games have just come out. Which ones will I watch first? Which things will appeal to me the most? So I think that's some people will just want to watch that first impressions, whether that's all they watch or they just want to watch that first. It's easy to have it broken apart because it could be at the end and you can bookmark it to it, but I think it's nice just having it as a separate thing. I used to split them into the videos into parts as well, but it kind of just confused things and spread them all across different videos. So now they wait until the whole thing is ready. Rach played it once, I think. We played it a couple of times because we played it with Steve. Who's your favourite board game? Oh, I've answered that. Rado. What are you playing a lot of lately? Nothing. What we are kind of playing things, just for, as I said earlier, at the moment we're playing a lot based on what needs to be reviewed. So games that we played recently were On Tour, which Kickstarter that was coming. We played Homesteaders last weekend and then filmed it last weekend as well. Fallout was a recent one. Yeah, I need the link to that new rulebook. Paul says there's a new rulebook for it. Because Fallout was a bit of a weird one. You get all of these there's like 2 factions that you support that you're supposed to support. I get points if this faction wins, and I suppose the idea is the other person gets points if this other faction wins, but the cards are all shuffled up, so in our first game anyway, I had an equal number of cards for one faction. One faction gets me points, and the other faction gets me points. And so did Rach. She had a different configuration, so we both won the game because there's no the person with the most points wins. It's just at this point of the game, if you have this many points, the game ends, and if you met the goal, you win. So we both won, which was fine because there was a lot of it. It's got a huge story deck in it that is telling that's one of the strengths of Fallout. I've only played the recent Fallouts 3 onwards. I didn't play the original 2, but a big strength of Fallout video games is the stories that you can find in there. They're massive, expansive games, and you can often find really nice little stories hidden away through just abandoned bunkers that have computers that'll tell you the story of the long abandoned vault or something like that. So the board game's got this huge story deck that will say, you start with this card out, and then here is an objective. Do this, get these cards out. I will explore at the station here, and that will let me draw a card from this settlement deck, and maybe that will tell me to put some more cards out that will lead to branching stories and stuff. But one kind of sore thing at the end as well was we had to reset it all. It was kind of in Gloomhaven, I know you're only doing that once per game, and not always at the start of every game. You have city and road events, and in a similar way, you'll make a choice, and sometimes you'll get to add more cards to that deck, and so your story is getting customized. You as you retire characters or get new characters, you put more cards into this deck, and so as these characters or stories reoccur, it's really great and helps to add to the continuing story we've got going on. In Fallout, you're drawing from them a lot more often, quite a lot per game. So it's not quite the same thing, but it's a shame as well that all of the stories we were kind of halfway through or just getting started or didn't even get to at all, we now reset it back to the start, and we probably wouldn't see all of the same things again, but we might see a lot of it again because the decks all start exactly the same way. There are different scenarios to play though. There's a lot of different scenarios in there. And you can kind of play the Fallout 4 city or the Fallout 3 city based on how the tiles come out. But anyway, that's just a lot of talk about Fallout. Where did I go? I've lost my place. We've gone to the top. Solo groups are going crazy over it. Heard it's very light. Well, we'll have to look into it. It keeps scrolling to the top. This is a terrible way to have chat. I'm scrolling down to find the questions. I should have some music in the background while I'm trying to find all of this. Have you met with any of the game reviewers? Yes. I believe Paul of Gaming Rules is one. He is. I've met Paul. I've been to Gaming Rules HQ. Yeah, I've met a lot of them now, I think. And yeah, we hung out with F. Elaine a bit at the UK Games Expo and at Essen. Met John Gets Games at Essen and Actual LOL and Rado at the last two Essens. And yeah, this it's bad to start lists, isn't it? Because you're going to leave loads of people off now. Yeah, we met Tom Vassell, and I don't think we met Z. I think we saw Z from afar at last year's UK Games Expo, but that counts as meeting, right? Yeah, we've met a lot of people, but now I'm worried that I've left nice people that I met off. But yeah, we have met with some game reviewers. We did recently play Glass Road for fun. We did. And it was very good. But now I've got to play it. Well, I suppose we don't need to play it to do the video, but it's a good excuse to play Glass Road again, isn't it? Glass Road's really, really good. The goals are apparently completely booked. Is that Fallout? Yeah, they were one of the weirder parts of the game. Steve, hi Steve. One random question. Have you still got Spirits of the Rice Paddy, and when did you last play it? I have still got Spirits of the Rice Paddy. I don't want to rotate things in case I ruin the... Oh, you can see it. It's there. It's mirrored on my screen, so it's really hard to know where stuff is. It's there. When is the last time I played it? When I did the video for it, which is ages ago now. It's over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It was ages and ages and ages ago, and yeah, it was for the video last. But I really enjoy it, and it's definitely one that we tend to, for space and to keep the new games coming in, we do have to have clear outs of games, but that's one that will definitely stick around. I really like Spirits of the Rice Paddy, and it's another Kickstarter I've kind of avoided because I know I'm not in a position to back it, but there's Rice Dice now. Spirits of the, I think it's called that, or Spirits of the Rice Paddy, the dice game. Yeah, that's bound to be brilliant, isn't it? Well, yeah, I hope it is. It's just behind me. It is just behind me on the left. I should look ahead on the chat. I'm glad you got the game. Do you enjoy it? I enjoy it. I don't think there's much. It's definitely really unique. The way that the water kind of trickles down, and can be a really mean thing if you play it like that. The way that the water trickles, you people with these rice paddies, and you're building fences and gates and things, and there's a big stack of water at the start of the round, and the first player gets the water first, and then it trickles down into the next person's paddy, and then the next person's paddy, and so if you don't plan right, or you're too far behind in turn order, you can end up with no water, and rice needs to be submerged in water to grow. Learned that from Spirits of the Rice Paddy. How long have you gone without playing a game? Not very long. Maybe we've had weeks off. Yeah, maybe a couple of weeks. Do you mean not playing a game at all, or without playing a particular game? Because if it's without playing a particular game, then some it's been years. I bet there's I stopped tracking, when we play a game, but yeah, there'll be definitely some up there. Dead Men Tell No Tales is one that we haven't played for. That would be in the app when we played that last. That's been a couple of years, I think. Yeah, it's kind of, I can kind of blame doing the videos and things for, it means that I can't play I can't play games over and over again because I need to get to the new thing. But that's kind of, I really like playing the next thing anyway. Although it's always nice to go back to the thing. If I've kept a game, it's because I really like it. It's always nice to go back to them. Is there a game you'd love to review but haven't? Loads. Chimera Station springs to mind, which is a game from TMG where you had little aliens that you needed to pop together, and it was a worker placement game. That's all I know about that, but I'd really like to... I'm seeing questions there in the future. I'd really like to play that. There are loads that I'd like to get to that I have, that I've never reviewed. And yeah, hopefully like the reason Glass Road ended up in the Kickstarter vote was just I was just thinking to myself when I needed one more game to meet the 10 that go into the vote. I just thought to myself, oh, it'd be nice to play Glass Road. Hopefully, people want a review, and it turns out that they did. Games that I haven't got to review. Yeah, there's loads, but as I'm asked about it, my mind goes completely blank. But all those ones that I mentioned earlier, like Edge of Darkness, Thunderstone Quest, things like that, they're both AEG, aren't they? AEG, send me things. But all of that stuff, upcoming things I'm always excited about, but there are tons of games that kind of, they come onto the wish list and end up getting forgotten because there's just so much coming out. Tons and tons and tons. Is there a game? Who's we? Rachel is we. Rachel's my girlfriend. She has been in videos. She's been in a few from early on into the channel. She was in a few. When it's something like a hidden information game or something like that, Rachel needs to be in it. She was last in Kitchen Rush because that was a real-time game that needed 2 players, and it would have been really well. I did try filming it on my own. It was really rubbish how it came out. So she's in that. I don't think she's been on. I think if you find the last Q&A that I did, which was ages ago now, it's probably about 9 months ago. Rach is in that. I think she brings Marty in, who is real as well. Marty's our cat, but I think he's kind of shut away upstairs at the moment. But yeah, she shows him on there, so you can see Rachel and Marty. 2 for the price of 1. But she's we. That's whenever I'm referring to we, it's Rachel, who I play almost all of my games with. Whether it's just us 2 or whether we're playing with friends, most of the time Rachel's there. Not long because we take them on holiday too when we go away. Yes, we do play games on holiday. Although they were games that we last went on a holiday in America and got some lovely games in America. Is Marty a real person or just a helping hand when you play your games? Marty's our cat, who's said is locked away at the moment, but if we tried to bring him down here, he wouldn't want to come when he's actually required. Yeah, Marty's our cat that often kicks things over, and we got... Where's the Glass Marty? Glass Marty's... He's meowing outside the door right now. Yeah, Glass Marty was if you know Rado's wife, Jennifer Ham, she runs Gamer Glass, where she makes beautiful glass pieces. She makes markers and things for games. One year I'd gotten Rachel a couple of things from her for Christmases, and then one year I noticed that one of the options was have a custom figure made for your cat. So I sent her some pictures of Marty, and she came up with the beautiful figure. And yeah, now I've kind of co-opted it. It's changed from being a present for Rachel to being a kind of mascot for the channel. But yeah, you can... I'm not sure what the situation is at the moment because Rado and Jen are moving around, but if you get the chance to see her at the UK Games Expo or in Essen, she has stalls there and she makes beautiful glass pieces and earrings and things. Rachel can tell you. Have you had funny moments meeting with fans? I don't know if I've had funny moments, just bizarre moments, really. It's very, very nice, but it's very strange when someone comes up to me and knows who I am, even though it shouldn't be really, should it? Because I'm putting myself out on the internet. But yeah, it's pleasantly surprising all the time. You might have covered this, but when you're unleashing your fab BGG Geek List that helps everyone go to UKGE, well, that's something worth bringing up, actually. Last year I did a fab UK Games Expo Geek List where, trying to copy off Eric Martin's Essen list, where I tried to list everything that you can buy or demo there. And yeah, that was up this time last year. I think it went up on about the 26th last year. But this year, I'm doing it a little bit of a different way. Last year, I did it rogue. I went through the exhibitor list on the UK Games Expo website and emailed them all personally, individually, and not many got back to me, but enough to make a list got back. And then as the list kind of got traction, people realised and emailed me about them. This time, Richard, who runs the UK Games Expo, they saw the list eventually last year and really liked it and promoted it and stuff. This year, Richard asked me if I was doing it again, and we're doing it a bit of a different way where they do a special email for the exhibitors. So I'm listed on that exhibitor email, and everyone said, if you want to be on this list, email Tom at this address. And the reason the list isn't up yet is because surprisingly few people have emailed back yet. And that might be that a lot of the bigger companies last year didn't email until very late on because they aren't sure yet. They don't know what they're going to have, or they don't know if it's going to be for sale or for demo. A lot of that stuff kind of ends up in the air. They don't know if the shipments are coming in yet. So, it's not just a case of they haven't wanted to. But yeah, I've asked if a reminder could be sent out because not many are coming out. Paul, what are CGE going to have there? Tell them to tell me. But if you are an exhibitor at the UK Games Expo and you happen to be watching this video and you've gotten 50 minutes into it, then email me and I'll put you on the list. But from what I've seen so far, there's some cool things there. If you've heard about Holding On, and then it's got a subtitle, it's a worker placement game where there's a dying man and he seems to be clinging onto life for some reason, and we are trying to find out what his big goal is, what his secret is, what he's clinging onto life for. It's a very absolutely unique game. They're going to have that to demo. It's coming out to Essen. They're going to have that to demo at the UK Games Expo. I think that's definitely worth looking at. I know that Chip Theory Games are going to be there, who do the Too Many Bones series, and they do Triplock and Hoplo thing I can't pronounce. They do games with chips and things. They're going to be there for the first time. I know that Gilhover, Formal Ferret Games, the networks, is going to have a little expansion called Teletime. That's going to be at the UK Games Expo, and it's going to be UK-themed shows and stuff for the networks. There's not been that many people replying yet, but there's some cool stuff that's going to be there. But the list will be up. To answer the question in a massive, massive roundabout way, the list will be up as soon as I've got a decent enough amount of games to put on there. Where was I? I know I'm doing one. Oh yeah, the email that was meant to be exhibitors went public. But yeah, it will be as soon as I get some more emails. But hopefully they're sending out another email to give people a bit of a nudge, and more people can get back to me. But as I said, the bigger companies like, well, it's not called as Devium now, Asmodee UK, who do all of the Asmodee games, you'd be surprised to learn, which is, let's be honest, most of the games. Well, it's not all of the companies, it's a lot of the big companies are now owned by Asmodee, so it all goes through them, and they weren't sure what would be arriving until quite late last year. So it'll be situations like that where I'm not going to wait until everybody's got back to me. But hopefully more people come back to me. Games you were super excited about but disappointed after playing. Ooh, loads. I try and be, generally positive in the videos and try and find all of the good in things. I'm trying to see videos now, scrolling through videos pretty quickly, trying to see the last one where it's like this just didn't work for us at all. We tend to. I try and do the videos for all the things. If it's just getting too much and there's too many games, sometimes we will. Sometimes I'll sell them without making a video just because either I can't really find anything interesting to say, I haven't got time to make the video, and I didn't enjoy it, and I've got to relearn it to make the video for this. There have been some things like London Dread was one of those where I'd been really looking forward to that, and it fell really flat for us, and it got so long since we'd last played it that I didn't want to go back and relearn it to make a video, and there were already a huge pile of things mounting up that I needed to get to. I'd say just scrolling through my recent videos, the biggest one that springs to mind is Charterstone, which I'm still really, really sad that we didn't enjoy that. That's especially after it had been something like number 2 in my most anticipated games list. Yeah, really, really pumped for that, which probably made the disappointment, it enhanced the disappointment, didn't it, if I was really, really excited for it. But it didn't work for us at all. What else? I'm just trying to see things that I've made videos for. I can't think of any that. There never really tends to be any that were so bad that I wouldn't make a video. I would say it in the video. Indian Summer was one we were really disappointed in. It's supposed to be a gamers. Uwe Rosenberg had done a game that was too simple, too light for us in Cottage Garden, and Indian Summer was the gamers game. But I thought Cottage Garden was more interesting, had more gamery things to it. Merlin. Paul will disagree with me on this. Paul really enjoyed Merlin. Was really, really disappointed with Merlin. We didn't get on with it at all, and we are huge, huge fans of Stefan Feld, especially Rach. Feld is Rach's favourite. But yeah, try and focus on the positive ones, but yeah, it's always rubbish making a video when you have to say how much you didn't like a game. But it's necessary. Paul, ask me later and I can add stuff to the list. Adrenaline expansion. Pictomania 2nd Edition. How is it in such a tiny box now, Paul? I've got a huge Pictomania box and some secret new stuff. I want to see secret new stuff. Tell us about it and make it not secret anymore. I want to see Ice Fisher 2 as well. Have you come across mean comments? How do you deal with them? Not many. Surprisingly few. That's always a kind of thing that it never put me off making videos, but it's kind of a accepted thing, and you see them in, like, if you watch live streams of, I've seen, not very often, but sometimes when you see a Rado live play, there's going to be one on Saturday, by the way, you'll see the odd, nasty thing in there. I've had surprisingly few of them. Just random vitriol. It's happened a couple of times, maybe, and yeah, just take the attitude that's most creators say, I think, that is just mute, ignore. Just the comment gets hidden and they get banned from commenting on the channel. But as I say, it's happened twice, maybe. Sometimes I'll do a video and people, they aren't just spouting vitriol, but they may be annoyed at the way. They may be annoyed because I didn't like their game. I remember there was a lot of annoyance at Arkham Horror, the card game, when I said that I didn't like elements of that. But yeah, again, it never really crosses a line into just stupid abuse. But yeah, for the Endeavour video, I got what I would call stupid comments. That's a comment. If we do posters, Paul, for the live show, then I would like the quote, "Man up and stop talking about slavery," to advertise my channel. That's one of the weirder, just nonsensical comments that I got. It was a game about, well, not about slavery, but a game heavily involving slavery. So I'm not sure how you man up and stop talking about it. But yeah, just weirder ones like that where, not engaging or having a go at or anything. Just kind of, I will reply to try and see where you're coming from on that because I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, in general, mute and ignore is the way you have to go. Marvel or DC? Marvel. Always, always Marvel. Although, yeah, Batman, beautiful, but it's all about Spider-Man, isn't it? Although I haven't seen any of the films, the Tobey Maguire ones, even if Spider-Man 3 might be stupid, those Tobey Maguire ones are my Spider-Mans. It's TARDIS technology. What's changed, Paul? Why is it second? Do I have to get another edition for it? Do I need a second edition if I've got one? Maybe I want to make Pictomania small on my shelf. There was a discussion about older published games on Board Game Geek. Just wondering why you don't do more older accessible games of quality. Mainly because of time. It's definitely stuff like I mentioned that we'll be doing. Glass Road will be coming soon, and Dead Men Tell No Tales, even though it's not very old, is it? That's only a few years old. Glass Road is, what's Glass Road, 2009, 2010? Fairly old now, isn't it? It's probably more recent than that now, I'm guessing. But mainly it's time. There are so many, try and keep up with new releases that are coming out, and then I'll get asked by people to, this Kickstarter's coming up, and can you do a video for that, or this game's coming across. Like, that's how Crisis, the Crisis video came about. Luda Creations get in touch. Are there any games of ours? Can you do a video for this game or this game? It's just time. simply. I can only do so many videos. It tends to be 2 a week at the moment. I try and meet that, and the Kickstarters have their hard deadlines. Kickstarter video needs to be up unless something really goes wrong or it comes too late or something. Those Kickstarter videos need to be up when the Kickstarter launches. Ideally, I think only once that I couldn't make that when a video had to be completely redone. But yeah, the Kickstarters have got hard deadlines, and I'm always aware of it's been so long. Games that I got given at Essen that I haven't done videos for. I'm constantly aware. It's constantly going around in my mind that it's been so many. It's been 6 months now, or games that are just kind of staring at me that need to be done. There's so much kind of piling up from that it doesn't leave much time to go back and do these things. And I do want to. All of these, as I said, all of the games that we've got on this shelf behind me are, our favourite games. It's whenever we get rid of games, it's ones that, probably don't really feel like going back to that, or maybe we've changed our minds on it. But that would be an interesting reason to go back and look at older games to see do we still love it as much as we did, the 2 years or so ago when we first played it. That I've just got that. That memory in my mind of the game being really good, and maybe we would think differently now. Like as I said, that the more we play games without any conflict in, for example, or any player versus player stuff, that if we go back to an old game that did have a bit of that we didn't mind as much, now we've played so many that have absolutely zero of it that kind of our tolerance levels have been shifted a little bit, and now it all feels more pronounced, that kind of thing, or our tastes might just have changed in general. But that's why I don't do more older games, just because of time. But I would like to. I'm going to try and make a more conscious effort to put them in the votes more, because after seeing the reaction that the first vote Glass Road was in, I think it got second. I think it got beaten by City of Kings, which I think City of Kings was destined to win whatever vote it was going to be in. But yeah, I'll try and put them more in, because it showed me that that there are these new games that were in the vote, but people wanted to see Glass Road, which is really cool. Maybe people just want to see me play Glass Road, or maybe they want to know more about it, because it's the games are kind of covered a lot as well. Maybe it would be an idea to do ones that got less attention, like Xenon Profiteer never really gets talked about. I really like that. That's a really interesting, unique deck builder. But yeah, there are things like that don't get talked about as much. Maybe that would be an idea for it. But things like Glass Road, I always thought, there's so many videos out for it that does anybody need another one? But apparently, based on that vote, yes, they do. Are you backing any Kickstarters yourself right now? No, I don't think I've backed any. Usually, for money reasons, I try and avoid getting tempted by Kickstarters, but I think the last thing I backed was No Pun Included's Kickstarter, because we need to keep them going. What's on my backed projects list? There's Semi-Final Fantasy, that was a roll and write game that I haven't played yet. It's kind of an adventure thing. It just looked cool. It was a cheap Kickstarter to back. And then it goes to the Network's Executives, which is, it's been a while since that was on Kickstarter now, isn't it? But I love the Networks. It's a great expansion. Then Founders of Gloomhaven, which that's getting on for about a year ago now, isn't it? About 9 months since the Kickstarter was for that. So yeah, not many. And then before then it was Rado's last one. And now he's on Patreon. So that is my Kickstarter history. There are loads that I'd like to back. And there are ones where I get given prototypes that are in various stages of completion, and I never ask for final copies for things, but it's always brilliant when I end up with them, because then I don't think it's really happened yet, or I've had final versions of things, but it would be nice to go back to the videos then and see what the brand new version looks like when, or maybe do a whole new playthrough if the rules have changed enough. Because sometimes that can happen with the Kickstarters. I play a version of it, and then by the time it's gone through more development and more feedback, and the final game comes out, it can be a completely different thing. And then you get things like Verdoran Gardens, where barring the hand-painted meeples, I think that was a pretty much. If you told me that was a final game, I would believe you. More questions. Glass Road is a great purchase for me. I haven't done a video for Glass Road yet. I don't think it was my video you watched. I've got to do a Glass Road video soon. But hopefully, it will reinforce your purchase of it. Kickstarter games are ordinary, one has to sift through the junk. Well, hopefully, that's what my videos can do. There are more and more and more and more games going on Kickstarter, aren't there? Just the more popular it gets, the more people will get to make things on it, and that's a good thing, really. Even though it will kind of inevitably end up with mediocre things. As I remember, our local game store didn't stock a lot of Kickstarters, dismissing most of them as mediocre. And maybe that will be the case, but if I do videos for them, then you at least get to see someone playing through them all, and you can decide for yourself whether you think it's exceptional or not. But I think a lot of the ones that I've done I'm really, really excited about. And I'll be honest about the Kickstarters as well. I don't think it's ever really happened where we've played one, hated it, and then they've asked us not to do it. I don't think we even played one and not really enjoyed it that much. I don't know. I try and filter them out at the beginning stage and try and read the rules and get a good sense of what it's like. Sometimes that doesn't work out, and I have to say, uses dice too much or whatever, it didn't really work for us, but hopefully you can decide for yourself. But yeah, hopefully the videos themselves will help you sift through the junk. Glass Road is a cool game, yes. It's getting harder and harder with all of them listed every week. Yeah, hopefully the videos are there to... I said all of that just, didn't I? So I think we've been on for just over an hour now, and I've reached the end of the chat. So I think, for now anyway, I think I'm going to stop here. Because, yeah, you can let Marty in now. Because I think it's time to make dinner and stuff as well. It's 7:10 already. I don't know how we've been going for so long. Oh, this might be... Marty might make an appearance now.
Second appearance.
Here's Rachel as well. I don't know if she'll be on. There she is. There's Marty. Very uncooperative.
Very annoyed.
That's real Marty. He's sometimes in videos as well, kicking over something. I think. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'll do these more often now. I don't know how it's been 9 months since the last one. I've got an idea that might involve more live things happening, but yeah, could play Kitchen Rush for dinner. But thanks for joining in, everyone. Thanks for asking questions. There'll be one much sooner than 9 months' time, I assure you. But yeah, Marty appearance. Thanks for watching, everyone. And when I figure out how to stop streaming, this stream will end. Bye. Awkward looking one.